Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Right, this week we've been pressing on with this black TR7. This is the one that came in with the blown head gasket. So we've obviously now the engine and everything's back in. So it's all up and running. Nothing's set up yet. Hopefully I have it set up by the end of the day. And hopefully maybe even ready to drive. Because at the moment it's got no suspension on the front of it, as we've changed the subframe, which we'll show you in a minute as why we've changed the subframe. But so we've got the engine all fully rebuilt now. Well, top end of it anyway. It's had the cylinder head's all been fully rebuilt. We've lapped all the valves in. We've reshimmed all the valve clearances. It's then had new timing chains and guides, and all of that's reset up. The carburetors have all been cleaned out as well because they were full of gunge and there were thick orange sludge in the bottom of them. The sump has all been off and been cleaned out. So because we had the engine on the stand to do it all. So and it does run and sound very, very nice. We're not going to run it just at the moment because I've got a few things to button up on it. I don't really fancy working on it when it's red hot. So the actual engine itself is, I think it's got 40,000 miles on the clock. And after having the head off of it and looking at the condition of the bores and inside it, yeah, we can pretty much say that's genuine mileage, as the bores got no wear on them whatsoever. It's still on standard size pistons. Again, we cleaned all the pistons up before we put it back together. So yeah, it is nearly there now. So we've just got a few last jobs and that on it to sort out and obviously set it all up. One of the jobs I'm going to do in just a second is test the oil light, because the oil light on the dashboard isn't actually working, which isn't great. So it's either going to be a bulb, a broken wire, or the actual switch itself. So I'll show you a simple little test in a minute on how to test the system and just to see if it's the car or the switch or the bulb. For example, you don't need a multimeter to do it. All you need is a length of wire. So, but we'll go into that in a minute. So we'll show you the subframe. If you come down here, right, the subframe is completely rotten. Now, it's had a massive patch welded on here in the past. All the mounting points underneath are rotted. This side, round where the tray and arm bolts on, it's actually rotten and got holes in it. There's just nothing there, and that's your lower control arm mount. So I've got to take the steering rack off of it and put it on that one yet. So we've changed the subframe mounts as well, obviously, because they were knackered. Here's one of them. So there's just nothing left of it. If you ever look at that, it's just completely, that should be nice rubber, but it's just buggered. There's nothing left of it. So, and I think the underneath was rotten as well. Yeah, it's just soft. It's not got holes in it, but it's just all in here's swelled out around the mounting points. It's scrap. There's no point in trying to repair it. You can see all here swelling out. All this should be like that. So it's all swelling out. It's all just completely knackered. So that's the reason why we changed the subframe. So we've got I've taken some videos in the week of when I had the engine on the stand, setting up all the timing chains and guides on how to do that. So we'll put that in. We'll put that in now actually, and then we'll do the oil light test as well. Right, here we've got the engine for the black TR7. It's actually up there. So we've now obviously got the head back on it. It's all fully reconditioned and refurbished. Got new core plugs in the head as well. So it's all shimmed up, ready to run. And we're about to start doing the timing chain and all that assembly. So we've also given the block a bit of a clean down as it was quite oily and grimy. And we've obviously cleaned everything up in here and got rid of all the thick gummy oil. So what we're going to do is, I've noticed it previously before as well, but I'm going to show you what to look out for if you're doing a timing chain on one of these, as it could be quite disastrous if you don't actually notice it. So, but first of all, you'll notice that the dowel was missing out of the timing chain tensioner. That actually came out with the old tensioner, so it has got one. But it's not only just the dowel, it's also got a small hole up it, which feeds oil pressure to the tensioner, as the tensioner is done by oil pressure. So we've got it timed up at the moment. So we're on TDC number 1, and when I've rebuilt all the head and reinstalled it, I always put the cam, I always just line the cam muck up anyway. So that is ready to start putting all the timing chain and all the guides and everything in. So we're over here we've got all of our parts cleaned up. We've got the cam wheel, the support bracket, new guides, new tensioner, got the old tensioner, new chain, new oil seal as well, as part of the kit. Obviously got gaskets and everything for the front timing cover. And we've also got the original bracket. It's a stop. I'll show you what it is in a second. So I'll try and do this one-handed without firing the tensioner off. In here we've got the new tensioner. Here it is, the brand new tensioner. It's not a cheap nasty one, it's a half decent make. This little red foot, I'll show you what that's for a bit later on when I've fitted it all up. But if you notice on this tensioner, there's no hole on the foot for the oil to come out, which helps lubricate the chain and helps lubricate the actual tensioner foot. I've got the original one. What make was it? They are Reynolds. It's got the hole in the end of it, if the camera will pick it up. There we go. The camera's not working properly. So yeah, you can just see the hole in the end of it. It's also got the dowel in the tension as well, which has also got a hole up it to feed the oil pressure. So what I'm actually going to do, well, first of all, I've got to put the hole in the new tensioner foot. That's a must, otherwise you'll get rapid wear on your tensioner, and it will also, because the oil can't escape out the hole, it will build up too much pressure in here, put too much tension on the chain and cause a rapid wear on the foot. So, and then I'm going to use the original Reynolds body. It will just save me having to try and pull the dowel out and damaging it. The body's very rarely wear. In fact, I've never ever seen one wear. So we'll use the new foot with a hole in it and the original tensioner body. So we've obviously got new guides. Nuts and bolts are all cleaned up. New locking tab for the camshaft. So yes, if you don't have that hole in the tensioner foot, you are asking for trouble. So we've obviously got the sump off of it now as well. We'll show you what's in there in a second. As they're always like this, they're always sludged up and all horrible. But like I said it previously, when we do a cylinder head on one of these or timing chains, first thing we do is take the engine out. It's a far easier job with it out the car. Especially as we always remove the sump to replace the sump gasket, because it's part of the front timing cover. And we don't like to gorm it up with sealer, because the first place that sealer is going to come off and break off is inside your engine and block your oil pickup. And it will go around your engine and it'll just cause havoc. So just do the right thing and put a new gasket on the sump. Plus you'll be able to wash the sump out and clean it all out as well. Because inside the sump looks a lot like this. So there's a washer there. Odd. I don't know where that's come from. You can see thick, heavy sludge in the bottom of the sump, which that's not exactly good for your engine. And this engine has actually only got 40,000 miles on the clock. Now I know people are going to say, oh, it's because it's lack of oil changes and blah blah blah. Every single one I've taken off has been like this, and a lot of it was from leaded fuels back in the day. As you can see, it's slightly grey in colour in places because that's lead. So yeah, very nasty, and that's again why you always take your sump off and wash it out. It just makes it a better job all round. So I'm now going to clean my finger and sort this timing chain tensioner out, and then I will get it all assembled and timed up and set up, and then I'll do a little video of it all set up afterwards and how it should all be, because the curved guide is actually adjustable and you have to set that in a certain way, otherwise you'll have too much slack in your chain and the tensioner will actually fire out too far. That's what my finger, I've just remembered about that, and that is what that's designed for. So the new tensioners come with that one. Throw that in the bin, do not use it, keep the original one. If you notice that they are different, and the original one has got that little foot on it, so that this, if your chain does go too slack, it acts as a stop on the foot to stop that firing out completely, so you don't lose all the tension on your chain. So these mostly disappear. The amount of times I've pulled engines apart and they've not been there, and you can't get genuine ones. I have got a few which I'll keep as spares if they're not there, but they are starting to get hard to come by. So do not fit that one, fit the original one, and you won't have an issue with your car. So I'll get this all back together, and then we'll do another little video of it. Right, here we've now got all the timing chain and guides, everything back in place. Like I said earlier, it's all timed up, ready to go. So you notice that I've actually got a longer bolt in there. That's specifically because this fixing for this guide is actually one that goes right through the timing cover. So it's just easier to put that in there to locate it when you set all this up. So now to set these up, obviously I said this guide here is adjustable. If you look very carefully, you can see the slot behind it. You can just see the slot poking at the bottom as well where I've adjusted it. And this fixing here is on slots as well on the guide. So to set this up, obviously first of all, fit your chain and then put all your guides in place and just leave them loose. Fit your tensioner with your little plastic foot, and what that little plastic spacer does is it allows you to tension the chain up, i.e. the tight side, get that nice and tight, put pressure on the guide to take out any slack in the chain without firing the tensioner. So without that tensioner will compress and then it will try and fire and hold pressure on the chain when you don't want it to. You need to set all this up first before you remove that. So you've got the camshaft locking tab on. The only thing I've got to do now is torque up the cam fixings and then bend the lock tab over. The rest of all this is now tightened up and torqued up. So we'll pull the plastic pin out and then turn it over. So pull that out. So all that is literally a plastic with two spacer bits on it to stop that from being able to fire. So if we compress it, that should then try and fire. And obviously once it gets all pressure in there, it will force it open anyway. So we'll try and turn it over. And here she goes. Obviously we've got to do 2 full revolutions. Let's have a look at the cam mark. So there we go, let's come back round. I'll just go round again anyway. Line the time marks up, and then I'll just check it's still on TDC, which I'm sure it will be. Here she comes. I'll just line her up. There we go. So that's gone round a couple of times now. Everything still looks absolutely fine. So I'll now just offer the front timing cover on and front pulley on, and just double check it is still on TDC. And if so, then that's a timing chain on a TR7. Obviously to torque them up and fit the timing cover, and then sump can be washed, new gasket put back on, and we can get the rest of this engine reassembled, ready to get back in the car. So that is basically the head gasket and timing chain assembly on a TR7. Right, I've just put the timing cover back on and off the front pulley in place, which is obviously keyed up. And if we look, if the camera will line up, we're on TDC, that lines up, and light will work. Cam mark is in there, and we'll grab a light, you can't really see it. So cam mark lines up with the top mark in the cap. So that is all fully timed up, ready to go. So I will now get this thing all buttoned up and back together. Now in that little video I was saying about these tensioners being done by oil pressure. Now I used the original Reynolds body for a very good reason, and like I said in the video, the new foot didn't have the hole in it for the oil to come out and lubricate it all. So this is the original. This is the new body you get supplied, and if you look on the back, it hasn't even got the hole in it for the dowel. So there's nothing there. So all it's got is a tiny little hole in it, which is supposed to allow oil through, which is just completely wrong. They're junk, absolute rubbish. Don't use them. And a lot of people think that it's the spring in here that gives you the timing chain tension. It's not. If I pull this apart, there we go. All this is a non-return mechanism. You've got little notches around here. So if I put that back together, so as it gets oil pressure and the chain wears, this comes out. So this comes out. But then it will lock, so you can't put it back together. If I release it a couple more, it locks. All that is a non-return mechanism. It's the oil pressure of the engine which puts the tension on the chain. So if you fit that, as the new tensioners come, you're going to have nothing but issues, and it's not going to work. They are rubbish. So, and that's actually a half decent brand for one as well. It's not the cheap nut. It's not a cheap nut, real cheap nasty one, which is ridiculous. So yeah, be very careful of what parts you fit on the timing chain system on the engine. And that goes for Dolomite Sprints, Dolomite 1850s, Stags. I mean, Stags, you've got two of them. On the Stags, you've got that times two, so you've got two separate banks. So yeah, just be very, very careful of what you fit with them. But what we'll do, we'll have a quick look at this oil pressure light. So if you come and look around here, right down here, here's your oil pressure switch. And the way these work is all they are is they earth. So on the dashboard, you've got your bulb. When you turn your ignition on, that puts power to the bulb, and then the other side of the bulb, which is an earth, comes to this wire and this switch. So when you get oil pressure, all it does, it's got basically a little ball bearing inside it, which when it gets oil pressure, it pushes the ball bearing up and breaks the circuit, so it stops it earthing, puts the light out. So very easy, very simple system. So battery's on. If we go to the dashboard now, you can see us all connected up. If I turn the ignition on, so you've got top one is ignition, next one down is your oil. You turn that on, we've got no oil light. So we turn that off. If I plug this wire into our oil pressure light wire, just push them in there, and then put that straight on the negative of the battery. Push that onto the negative. If I turn that ignition on now, hopefully that light will come on, which says it's a switch, which is an easy little fix. So, yep, there we go. All light is now on. So there's nothing wrong with the bulb or the wiring on the car. It just needs a switch, which is a real nice, easy little fix. It's quite common for them to do that. They often get stuck. So I've probably got one. So I can change that over before the airbox then goes back on. Nice and easy to get to. So that is how you test a oil pressure switch. And you can actually do the same with your temp senders as well. Your temp sender on these is all that is a variable earth. Works exactly the same way. So if you've got a temperature gauge that isn't working, you can just do the same thing, and you turn the ignition on, and your gauge should then go right to the end. If you ever want to test your gauge, and you can actually do the same with the fuel gauge as well, but that's a bit more difficult because obviously the tank's underneath at the back of the car. So that's where we're up to. I'm going to crack on and get this buttoned up. We may be able to put some bit more content in the video if I get some more pictures. Well, I've got plenty of pictures anyway. If I get any more videos of it running nicely and things like that, we may put them in as well. So on that note, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Right, here we go. The engine's all back in. Suspension's not on it yet, but it's all back in, bolted up, connected up. Oil's in, and we're going to see if it will fire up. So this will be the first time I'm trying to run it. So we've got no coolant in it yet. So just going to see if it will actually run to start with. So the battery's on, oil's in, it's all ready to go. So it's fairly warm today, so it shouldn't need any choke. Okay, we've got no oil light. Let's have a look at that. Alright, here we go. On the button. So it's nothing set up yet. It is literally just in, hence why it's a bit rock and rolly. There we go, can't run it for too long, got no coolant in it. But yep, she fired straight up, but there's no coolant in it yet, so yeah, we can't run it for very long. But nothing's set up as of yet. Ignition timing's probably a bit out, carbs are out, so. But that's not bad for a first start. One of the best ones I've ever had, to be honest. But we'll get the rest of it all buttoned up and see how we go.